The largest city in southwest Riverside County is celebrating its 20th birthday. Murrieta has come a long way, considering it almost became part of Temecula.
Happy birthday to the city. 20 years. First few years were rocky. We're on a rocky time right now.
The city has matured. It's really developed over the last 20 years.
Where have 20 years gone? It's gone by so fast. And we are relatively still a very, very young city.
And Murrieta has established itself as a unique community in southwest Riverside County.
Murrieta has always been a family community, and it still is. You see a lot of families doing a lot of things together. They're in the parks on the weekends.
It started out as a small farming township in the 1800s and became incorporated as a city in 1991.
Murrieta went from, a farming community to basically a horse-based community in the mid-50s into the late 60s. Then more of a rural residential, then into the Orange County style growth starting in the early mid-80s.
Murrieta's population grew from 24,000 to more than 104,000 and now has the largest population in southwest Riverside County. The number of licensed businesses is now at 4,000 in the city. Officials from the Murrieta Chamber of Commerce say there may have been around 500 businesses in the city at incorporation. And Murrieta may see a change in the types of businesses that come into the area.
With the recent opening of Loma Linda University Medical Center, Murrieta, we're talking a lot of medical biomed. We're thinking that that is probably going to be where our focus is over the next several years. UCR Riverside School of Medicine getting going. We know that there's a need in this area for people in the healthcare industry.
And when Temecula was drawing its maps for incorporation, Murrieta almost became part of it.
Temecula, the powers to be, decided that they were going to incorporate as a city, and we discovered that they had included us in their first maps.
Rancho California, that was the name that it was supposed to be. And then when Temecula went to cityhood, one of the things that they chose was the name Temecula.
Murrieta is experiencing growth while maintaining a balance between the old and the new.
Unfortunately, with the development, a lot of our historical homes and sites are gone, which is really sad to see. I wish they would have taken better care of that. But I think they're trying, and hopefully someday they'll have a museum.
Interestingly enough, the spelling of Murrieta wasn't always about 2 R's and 1 T.
Murrieta spelled with 2 R's and 2 T's, or 1 R and 2 T's. So it's been like that, and they finally stabilized it, I think, in the 1917, 1920, somewhere around there.
And Murrieta has its share of secrets.
The roads are exactly 1/2 mile apart, except for in historic downtown, where there's the one road, Juniper, which is 1/4 mile from Ivy and 1/4 mile from Calmia.
A lot of thoroughbreds back from the early 1950s to the late 1960s. Almost every horse that ran on the track anywhere in California was raised here in Murrieta.
And the mysterious Golden Triangle, a 64-acre piece of land that has remained untouched for so many years.
Maybe in 20 years, the Golden Triangle will have something on it.
That certainly would change the face of Murrieta as far as the retail face goes.
As for the next 20 years,
based on what the city's estimates are, we will top out at about 120,000. That's all we have room for. If Menifee and Wildomar hadn't incorporated, that might have given us a direction, but now we're essentially landlocked, so there's not much chance to expand. So 20 years from now, we will be at that point, I'm sure.
They need to finish the city. They need to get the commercial in, get the city built out so it's a good financially viable city.
Those that have been born and raised here, I think, will stay here because we will have better jobs and more to offer them. And I don't think you'll see a big change in 20 years.
For the next 20 years? Well, that's a good question. Who knows what the future holds?
In Murrieta, Julianne Nunn, The Press Enterprise.